A USMC Marine Expeditionary Unit, MEU, has landed on this Persian Gulf beach during the night in the hopes of quickly seizing the nearby MEC airbase. The stakes are high for both sides. The Marines face possibly being driven into the sea and destroyed. The MEC forces could lose a key airbase and open the door for US forces to take strategic oil fields. Both sides have been using the morning to prepare for a final assault. This video is going to be a retrospective map analysis of the Gulf of Oman map from Battlefield 2. The map is also in both Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, but this video will be focusing on the original Battlefield 2 version. We'll be looking at the real-life inspirations for the map, as well as the environment and layout of the map itself. We'll also be going over the flag points and equipment that both the USMC and MEC forces have at their disposal here. The Gulf of Oman is a body of water between the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea, and connects both of these larger bodies of water through the Strait of Hormuz. Since other maps in Battlefield 2 have taken place in the country of Oman, I'm going to assume that this one does as well. And I believe the map could take place anywhere along the Oman coast, right next to the Gulf itself. And more specifically, the map may have been inspired by the town of Sur, as it has a small river that leads out to the ocean that twists and turns similarly to the river seen on the Battlefield 2 map. Due to the map taking place along a coastline, we mostly hear the sounds of wind, waves, and wildlife, such as birds. Though a factory building on the west side of the map does have a more unique sound from the rest, in the form of an intercom relaying announcements. The number of control point locations varies depending on what size version of the map one is playing on. Gulf of Oman has 3 map sizes, a 64-player, 32-player, and 16-player. I'll be focusing on the 64-player version, as the 32 and 16-player versions of the map are the same, except that they have less control points to capture due to their reduced play space and smaller player count. But I'll denote on the screen which control point locations are available on each versions of the map as I go through them. I will quickly mention that the 16-player version of the map has 3 points that are not on the 32 or 64-player versions of the map. Those points are the beachhead, the village, and the city. The 64-player version of Gulf of Oman has a total of 9 control points. The uncapturable bases for each team are the US carrier for the USMC and the Airfield Base for the MEC. The capturable USMC controlled points are the River Fortification, the Olive Hill Fortification, the Rock Fortification, and the Village Fortification. While the capturable points for the MEC are the Hotel, the Construction Site, and the Village. And no neutral control points are on this map. The map also has 5 bridges, 4 wooden ones, and 1 concrete. All of them can be destroyed using explosives and will require an engineer to repair them. First, we'll take a look at the main bases for the United States Marine Corps, USMC, and Middle Eastern Coalition, MEC. What these locations have in common with each other is that they cannot be captured by the opposing team, and are where each team's commander support structures are located. The US carrier is the uncapturable USMC point on the map, and acts as the main base for the team. The only way off the carrier is either by jumping in one of the aircraft that spawn on it, or by taking one of the ribs down at the stern gate of the ship. For the commander support structures, the radar station is at the midship, and the UAV trailer is near the starboard bow. For the vehicles that spawn here, as mentioned, 2 ribs spawned out at the stern gate. 2 F-35B Joint Strike Fighters spawn at the stern of the ship on the runway. 2 MH-60 Nighthawk transport helicopters spawn back at the stern as well, and 1 AH-1Z Viper attack helicopter will also spawn on the deck. As for the stationary emplacements, 1 Phalanx CIWS anti-air system is located at the midship, and another one is back at the stern. The Airfield Base is the uncapturable MEC point on the map and acts as the main base for the team. The point has 4 main entrances, 1 in the west and 3 in the south. There are 4 barracks, 3 bunkers, an oil cistern, 2 oil drills, and an oil derrick. The oil derrick can be climbed using the ladders on it. And the flame at the top of the tower can be a lock-on source for anti-aircraft emplacements, or jets. For the commander support structures, the UAV trailer is next to the runways, and the radar station is next to one of the barracks near the south entrance. And the 3 D-30 artillery guns are near the oil cistern in the middle of the base. As for the vehicles that spawn here, 1 Mi-28 Havoc attack helicopter spawns at one of the helipads, and a BTR-90 APC spawns right across from it. An Mi-17 HIP transport helicopter spawns at the other helipad with another APC next to it. 1 MiG-29 fighter jet and an Su-34 ground attack jet spawn at the end of the runways. And a T-90 tank spawns next to one of the barracks. For the stationary emplacements, 1 Eaglet AA launcher is at the west end of the base, and the other one is at the east end next to the helipad. And 3 RPK LMGs spawn in each of the 3 bunkers. The river fortification is the first beachhead base for the US team and gets its name from the river that it's next to. The point can easily be accessed from all sides, but the main entrance to the point is in the east. There is also a hole in the metal fence between 2 of the buildings. Speaking of which, there are 3 buildings at this point, and the hut here can be garrisoned by infantry. And also has a ladder on it that can be climbed to the rooftop. No matter which team controls the point, 1 RIB spawns down by the riverbed, and an FAV spawns near the shack. If the USMC team maintains control of the point, then an M1 Abrams tank will spawn nearby a ruined building. And if the MEC control the point, then a BTR-90 APC will spawn in place of the tank. Only 2 stationary placements are here, and that is 1 AA launcher and 1 LMG on some sandbags near the flagpole. The Olive Hill fortification is the second base for the US team on the beach, and is on top of a small hill. The main entrances for the point are both in the east, either going north along the dirt road to the river fortification, or south to the rock fortification. There is only 1 bunker here, and the base is mostly surrounded by a HESCO wall. To the northwest of this point are the 3 LW-155 artillery guns for the US team. No matter which team controls the point, 1 APC and 1 FAV spawn here, and only 1 AA launcher is located next to the bunker surrounded by sandbags. The rock fortification is the third base for the US team on the beach, nearby a small village. The point has 2 main entrances along the dirt road, with one in the north and the other in the southeast. The point is partially surrounded by a HESCO wall and has 2 bunkers and a guard tower. This bunker at the north entrance has an LMG inside it that can be used by players. There is also an AA launcher emplacement right next to the guard tower. No matter which team controls the point, 1 FAV will spawn in the middle. If the USMC maintain control of the point, then an M1 Abrams tank will spawn here. But if the MEC team controls the point, then a BTR-90 APC will spawn in place of the tank. The village fortification is the 4th beachhead base for the US team, east of the rock fortification and south of the hotel. The point has 2 main entrances via the dirt road, with both of them in the north. Only 1 guard tower is located here, and an AA launcher is the only emplacement at this point as well. And no matter which team controls the point, 1 APC will spawn next to the guard tower, and an FAV spawns right across from the tower next to the HESCO wall. The hotel is the first capturable MEC-controlled point, north of the village fortification and east of the construction site. It has 1 main entrance via the road in the east, but there are a few holes in the brick wall surrounding the point that infantry can move through to access it. There's a small shack and a gas station nearby, and the hotel building itself, which can be climbed using a ladder on the side of it. And the rooftop of the hotel makes a great location for snipers to pick off enemies down below on the ground. It also has a diving board that players could use to dive down into the large pool below. No matter which team controls the point, 1 tank spawns next to the large pool, and an APC spawns near the flagpole. For the stationary emplacements, 2 LMGs are located on the low wall surrounding the flagpole, and 1 AA launcher is next to the small dried pool surrounded by sandbags. The village is the second MEC-controlled point, west of the Airfield Base. The only main entrance here is in the southeast along the dirt road, where it splits to either go east to the Airfield Base or west across a couple of bridges. There is 1 hut, a guard tower, and 2 fishing shacks here. The hut has steps on the side of it that allow players to access the roof. Regardless of which team controls the point, 1 APC and 1 FAV spawn near the flagpole. As for the stationary emplacements, 1 AA launcher is also near the flagpole, and an LMG is inside the guard tower. And finally, the construction site is the 3rd and last MEC-controlled point that is located right in the middle of the map. The point has 3 main entrances, with 1 in the west, south, and southeast. There are also a few holes in the metal fences around the point that infantry can move through. There are several buildings here, but these 3 can be climbed using ladders attached to them. And this building near the south entrance can be garrisoned, and has steps that lead up to the rooftop. The building under construction can also be garrisoned and climbed using steps inside of it, as well as ladders on the outside. And of course, the green crane can be climbed. And is an excellent location for snipers, as it is the highest spot on the map. No matter which team controls the point, 1 APC spawns directly south of the flagpole, and an FAV spawns next to one of the climbable buildings. And no stationary emplacements are at this point. So there are a couple of other locations on the map that are not control points, but that I do think are of interest to mention. There is a large warehouse building between the river fortification and the village. The building has a ladder on the side of it that can be climbed by infantry, who can use it to gain a high ground advantage against enemy players on the ground below. There is a train on the railroad between the construction site and rock fortification that has cars that can be climbed using ladders on the sides of them. and there is a small park just north of the Olive Hill Fortification. The main entrance to the park is in the east, via a dirt road, and it is surrounded by brick walls that have holes in them that also allow infantry to access it with. It also has a small hut that can be garrisoned by players, as they fight their way across the battlefield of Gulf of Oman. So I just wanted to quickly say thanks to everyone who watched the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I plan on covering all the maps for Battlefield 2 in this series, so if you want to get notified of when the next video is uploaded, you can subscribe to the channel, or click on one of the cards on screen to watch a previous video. And thanks again for watching, and hope you have a good day.